Okay, let's try the third time. I swear, this is the. Actually, this might be the fourth time. I forget. Hopefully, it's the third time, but. So, here I am repeating myself again because I fail at making things concise and not rambling over and over about every little thing. But it's honestly really hard when it comes to this game, or lots of games. But so I've been planning for a while, trying to make an explanatory video about FurVilla. It's a new pet site, only it's kind of unique, I would say, or something quite different from the other pet sites that have existed on the internets. I actually found out about it on Flight Rising on the forums, which is kind of weird, seeing as how I do have like a connection to the furry community, which is like members of the furry community helped to make this game. So it's weird that I didn't see anything about it on FurVilla, not FurVilla, on Furfinity or any other sorts of outlets in the community, even though I honestly don't go on many like different websites and forums and stuff. Having to do with furries, especially recently, just haven't had the time or just kind of fallen out of the community. Haven't had much time to do art, but yeah, anyway, I'm doing the rambling like already. But yeah, it's weird that I didn't see it or find out about it in any other way, but I just so happened to check the Flight Rising forums, which I don't even go on that much, and found out about it. I was like, oh wow, this looks really fun. So I signed up, and it just so happened to register on the last day of the open registration. So that was pretty awesome. I think that was, what was it? I think it was it August or was it July? Oh yeah, it was July. It was July 8th, I think. So, I didn't even know that was the last day till probably weeks later because I was trying to get some friends to sign up, but then they were like, oh, do you have like a beta code or whatever? And then I found out, oh, registration is closed. But thankfully, registration is for sure coming in, public registration is coming in December. I believe it's December 1st. So if you're interested in playing, and you'll probably find out if you're watching this and trying to gain some insight on whether you play it or not, you'll find out that by the end of the video. So, and it's going to be a long video because I suck at explaining things and ramble on and on and on. But that's how it is, and I'm sorry. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, especially as of late, they've like added a lot of things. You can see they fixed up the menu stuff over here and made it a lot more accessible, because before this you had to just go back to the town hall page, which is this one. It's a very broad overview of the town and everything, and then you'd have, if you had to go to the auction house, you would just go over there to the stalls, but then now you can just access it over here and go to your stall. But that's better because, you know, it just saves extra milliseconds. Okay, so from the top, yes, this is a furry pet site, very similar to Flight Rising, probably heavily influenced by it. Only you are part of a village, and you choose out of, I believe, like 4 or 5 villages. I think it's I'm in Quetzal Palace. It's a heavenly sky domain, pretty sort of town. Yeah, I like it. And there's also Dragon's Maw Manor, which is a more macabre sort of Halloween town. There's Tiger Eye Peak, which is just a mountaintop, snowy sort of place. And then there's Old Foxbury, which is your standard medieval town. And then there is Ocean Dome, which is literally just a large dome in the ocean. So they tried to make a mixture of biomes. Unfortunately, I can't really show you that much from my account. So I'll just end up showing you some stuff about Quetzal Palace, which is, I believe, still the most populous town, unfortunately. You have your account, and then you have a bunch of villagers. The first one that you make is free, basically. You make it right after you choose your village, if I remember correctly. And then the ones after that each cost, the cost gradually increases. And at a certain point, you have to pay like thousands, like at least like 10,000s of the standard currency, which is fur cash. As you can see, I have 640,000 right now, at least outside of the bank. And then the premium currency is called fur dollars. And that 1240 is basically $12.40. The ratio of fur dollars to USD is 1 to 500 or something like that. So, let's see, that's a pretty painty. Yes, they call them painties. And yeah, that was probably deliberate that they called them that, but I've gotten over it. Yeah, I like that, so I'm gonna like it. That's a very nice painty. I also like that, I don't know what you call it. Oh god, my screen is messing up. Please excuse that. I have no clue why it does that. Yeah, it's still recording, but yeah. Yeah, but I like that little, whatchamacallit thing. Kind of like the tattoo style, where they have the little, ribbony, text thing. Sorry. I suck at words. Anyway, why isn't it going back? Okay. So, you make villagers. They all can have different professions or careers, and I believe you can have like up to 5 careers per villager, and you can switch between careers every hour. Like they can only be one career at once, and then you can switch it, and then you have to wait an hour before you can switch to another career. So I have to drink water. My throat like dries super easily. Yeah, for some reason. So, here's the explorer career. As you can see, you can have 20 explorations per villager per hour. So you can have up to 60. So here are my 3 explorers, and here's how it works. Just keep clicking, and then you pick up fur cash and items. You just have to keep spamming. So yeah, in order to maximize it, you'd need 3 explorers, and that basically goes for the other careers too. So, yeah, like the warriors, for example, you'd have 3 warriors, and I'll just show you that real fast. They just fight stuff. It's like 5 battles, and then you have to wait like 3 minutes or something in order to get a single new charge of a battle. So it is pretty dull, I would say. You get some pretty good items, mostly items that you can use to craft battle items. Like that is a rare. You can tell because they're like larger images or something. And the common ones are like this big, and they're kind of like on the right side. And those two items, for example, are used for weapons or shields or something. And sky coins are used for, I think it's for making the costumes, and we'll get into that after we talk about paintings. There's another rare. And the marble, if you saw it, it's used for houses and stuff, for building the respective house type in your particular town, because basically towns, even though they're all different, they're essentially the same. Like they have the same like building material, only I mean they have the same ways like about doing stuff, if that makes sense, but they're just different different takes on the same thing. I mean, when you play, you'll understand. And villagers get sick randomly. It's just stupid RNG that makes the game more challenging and for you to spend more cash on stuff, for cash, to buy medicines or make medicines. Like we'll talk about the doctor career. But yeah, illnesses are all the same, essentially. Well, they're not technically the same. They just have different names in the different towns. For example, like for all these 5 different medicines, there are 5 different ailments that your villagers can get. So, for example, sometimes they could be picking flowers. They could be an herbalist, and then randomly break their limb, which is dumb. And then you have to get one of these medicinal gauzes to use on them for that particular illness. So it'll say in the middle of your screen or so that, oh, so-and-so got a broken limb, and you can heal that with a medicinal gauze. So you can either make it yourself or buy it from the auction house. But the thing is with doctors, when you first start out and you first make your whatever medicine, the first one you make, and it takes a while to make it, it comes out at like 5% potency. And potency is like the chance that, or like the strength of the medicine. So 5% potency is obviously like meaning that you would have a 5% chance to cure the ailment. So you have to keep working on that. So eventually you do get to 100%, but it does take a while. And after it does get to 100%, you mastered it. So where is it? Oh, it just says mastered. I guess there's no, it doesn't have a separate link like in Animal Husbandry. It has a separate link showing all the masteries, but yeah, it's pretty simple over here. So I was gonna say, the mixed medicines thing, if you have multiple medicines of the same type and they're at different potencies, like for example, if you have 10% potency of like feathering lotion over here, and then you have another feathering lotion that's like 20%, then it's 15 plus 20, that's 35%. So you would mix them together and it'd be 35% potency. So it does help, because that way, if you really need to cure a disease one of your villagers has at that time, then you might be able to get at least a slightly higher potency medicine to use on that villager. But actually, before I forget, and I actually forgot to say this in the first 2 takes of this video, is that you can go to your respective town doctor building or whatever, and then as you can see over here, you have like 1 visit per day where you can bring one of your villagers to the clinic and have them cured for free. So that's an option. Although, personally, I would just use it when a villager has an illness that requires a medicine that is like the most expensive. Like, I know it used to be the medicinal gauze, so when they would get broken limb, I would come over here because the medicinal gauze, at least at that time, was the most expensive one. So that's when I would come to the doctor's office. And I don't know why I'm making hand gestures when you obviously can't see me. That's just like a habit, I guess, a natural thing. What else? How long have we been recording? I don't know. I can't even see it on the screen. But oh well. So which one should I talk about? I'm not gonna go through all the careers, or it takes so long. So I already kind of went through the explorer career and the doctor career and the warrior career. So construction worker makes houses. It also makes stables, which you use to house additional pets, to basically increase the so-called, not so-called, like, the, well, you can call it your inventory space, for your villagers that are in animal husbandry. So that's what the stables are for. And there's also herbalist pots that you can use for your herbalist that's trying to find plants, or I mean, not find plants, I can't talk. That's trying to grow plants. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. The crafter I haven't really used, but I think it's used in conjunction with the tailor, because the tailor is the one that makes the costumes, which you need the kind of high-end items to make. But really, they're, once you know what you're doing with all your different villagers and the different careers, it won't take you like an excruciatingly long amount of time to get all the materials, and they're not like extremely expensive or anything. It just takes some time. And you should, if you can, have basically maybe one or two or three of the, or not that many, but at least one of each really useful career, like the warriors. Maybe you can have like a couple warriors, and then have like a few animal husbandry villagers, and then a couple doctors, a couple herbalists or something, and then eventually you'll get all the materials for everything that you need. I mean, it worked for me, so. And stuff is pretty, actually I shouldn't say stuff is pretty affordable in the auction house, because people, well, actually it is, but I think what I was trying to say is that things are just fucked up in the auction house because people like undercutting stuff. So technically, actually, it is extremely affordable, like at least some of the things, but maybe for the higher end things, they're still affordable. But the auction house is just not in a good place. Hasn't been in a good place for a while, because people just love undercutting everything. So if you're trying to make money with auction house, I mean, you still can, but you have to just maybe sell things at higher price than what the majority of people are selling it for. That way it'd make a lot of us happier too, rather than simply undercutting by like so much. So that would be good if you did that. So kudos if you actually do, because yeah, it's ridiculous. I can try to get into the more auction house sort of thing later if I have time, but yeah. Anyway, I've rambled about that too much, or about everything. So blacksmith, they make obviously weapons and armor, and they also can repair weapons and armor, so that's good. You can repair your own stuff, or you can repair other people's stuff. Same for the construction worker, they can repair other people's houses and herbalist pots and stables and stuff too. But yeah, blacksmith would be basically using the materials that I think some of the stuff that your explorers might get, but mostly it's stuff that your warrior finds after they kill mobs. All those drops, or not all of them, but some of them. Like the dragon parts that we saw, they use those. At least in Quetzal Palace, they use those. Herbalists, I kind of went over, they just plant the seeds that your explorer finds, because most of the items that you'll need for a lot of things are from the explorer, the warrior. All the stuff they both find. An alchemist makes the potions, not the medicines like the doctor does, but like, I know they make, at Quetzal Palace they have the breeding potion, which is a really valuable potion that allows you to change the sex of the animal, because, well, we'll go more into that once we talk about animal husbandry, that which is what we'll talk about right now, actually. So animal husbandry is one of the most prominent things about this game. I know I can't word today. Basically, it's, lots of people like pets on pet sites. I mean, and we're not even talking about like the actual like villagers. We're talking about like mini pets, which is basically what these things are. And I am obsessed. Yeah, I'm one of those people who just can never stop saying basically. So the way this works is you have, okay, so I don't know what to call them. I want to call them animal caretakers, because I just hate how people say animal husbandress, because it just sounds weird. So I'll just say animal caretakers. So they basically they go out and search for animals, like, collect here. I'm not going to do that right now. It takes about half an hour, though, to collect animals. And it does get really frustrating because, first of all, you have to wait 30 minutes for them to collect something. And secondly, they have about, I believe, a 50% chance to find something. So most of the time, it's like they fail at collecting something, so it's usually a letdown. But they do have a chance still to collect something that's like either common, uncommon, rare, or super rare. Like, those are the 4 different types of pets. And there's also the same 4 rarity types for the colors as well, so that's pretty cool. Like over here, you have the stone croc. These are all common colors. They're like the basic standard color type, and then the red croc, I believe that's the uncommon color. It looks really nice, although of course it's not red, but I like the colors and stuff, but it is just an uncommon color. Some other ones are the burbs. Yes, I love that. The red-breasted burb is an uncommon color. The uncommon colors are basically like the first type of color you'll get when you start breeding them, because you can breed there my screen goes again. It's gonna happen at least like 10 more times during this. I hate it. So when you breed them, you obviously need a male and a female, and the females have a breeding cooldown, kind of like how in Flight Rising, well, both sexes have the same like time frame of a breeding cooldown, only it varies by species in that game. But over here, it still does vary by species, but regardless of what species they are, the males can breed like whenever they want, and then the females have the cooldown. I swear, I think it has to do with the stupid mouse wheel. I just hate it so much. I don't know why it does that. The monarch fly-ins are, I think I want to say they're rare. I forget. I'm pretty sure they're rare. And there it goes. Yeah, I'm not going to use the mouse wheel. I'll try not to. Even scrolling did something. I'm really sorry about this. The cloud dogs are just a common pet. And, where was I going with this? So yeah, there's the cooldowns. And you don't have to wait for anything, like, you know, like how on Flight Rising you have to wait and incubate the nest for X amount, or 5 days, whatever. The breeding is instant, and the pet there's only one pet that comes out of the breeding, not like a litter or anything, just one. So it has a small chance to be the next up, which would be the uncommon color, like this one. Or that one for the cloud dogs. The stormy cloud dog is the uncommon color of the cloud dog. So when you breed two like regular like white cloud dogs, you have a small chance to get a stormy cloud dog, even if they're just two regular ones. The chance goes slightly up when you breed, like, say, a stormy one with a regular white one. But it's still really low. It's still low if you breed two of the same rarity and they're, like, higher rarities. You're still gonna get, like, 90% of the time the lowest, the standard color. But it's still, you know, once you accumulate, like, say, like, a full page of them, which isn't like too much, because I know some people breed like pages upon pages of the same kind of pet, so they can have a higher chance of getting a rare color. But you know, at that point, when you just have a page of them, you're still gonna have a pretty good chance at eventually happening upon breeding an uncommon color. And then you just keep going and going, and then you accumulate more and more uncommon colors, and then hopefully when you breed the uncommon color with the common one, then not like these two, I mean, you know what I mean, you'll eventually breed a rare one. It's a lot to explain, but basically when you have like a rare breeding with whatever else, whether it's a common or uncommon, the mere fact that you have the rare in it, whether it's the male or the female, gives you a chance to get either a rare, like the offspring could be a rare color, or it could, at an even slimmer chance, be a super rare color. So yeah, I haven't I think I've gotten a rare color at least, I think, once or a couple times. What did I put in my description? For this one, now that I'm thinking about it, I can't remember if the Phoenix Burb is a super rare color, or maybe it's just a rare color. Shit, I don't know. Anyway, this is going on so long regarding the animal husbandry stuff. I mean, it is a major part of the site. People seriously, if they're gonna devote themselves to something on this website, then they're mostly devoting it to collecting these pets. That's what it is, really. It's a collection type of game. And this is another common colored pet. More, did I just go there? Probably. I'm not even paying attention to what I'm doing. This is the Dawn Cloud Dog is a rare color, I believe. the white peep is a rare pet, I believe. I'm just gonna domesticate that again. I should have finished domesticating it a long time ago, but yeah. Actually, I should have explained that up front at the beginning. When you find an animal, you are supposed to domesticate them. Well, you should, in order to move it around. Because once you fully domesticate them, you can take them out of your inventory, and then you can like not buy them, sell them, or just, transfer them to someone else, or transfer them to one of your other villagers who are animal caretakers. But the way domestication works is you spend like 10 minutes taming them, and you have to tame them 10 times in order to fully domesticate them. But like I said before, when you breed two animals, then the offspring is already fully domesticated, so that's okay. But I forgot to mention that when say you're breeding like two commons, like a regular, like the cloud dogs, two white cloud dogs, and you come up with a stormy cloud dog, which is the uncommon color. Well, no matter what new color it is, whether it's, whichever rarity it is, whether it's uncommon, rare, super rare, you really have to use that the individual that you just got out of the breeding and use it as the male, like the stud, to use for all the other females. Because that way, it's just common sense. Because since the males have no breeding cooldown, you'll want to use that uncommon or rare or whatever colored animal as the stud, so you can breed that animal with all the other females. And because if you're just using using it as a female, then that only gives you like one chance to get another rarish color out of a single breeding. But if you have just a bunch of regular females like these ones, and you have, like, say this is a male with the rare color, then you have like six my screen. You have 6 different opportunities for the offspring to be like either uncommon or rare if you have this male. I know this isn't a male, like I said, but yeah, that's just an example. And in order to, like, say your rare is like a female like this one, that's where that breeding potion that I mentioned comes into play, because then you can use the breeding potion like this, and it'll change it to the opposite sex. So then you'll get the male, and then you can use it for breeding with the females to get the higher chance at the higher rarity colors. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna say for now regarding animal husbandry. Thank God it's over, because hell, this explanation is taking forever. What else? Oh, let's just go into the painty deal. So this character right here, she doesn't have a painty. So I know I didn't explain the villager creation process, and I really should have explained it at the beginning. But the way it goes is, when you make the villager, you get to choose like a bunch of different species. It can be like almost any kind of mammal, at least the popular ones. Some options of birds, like this one. This is a magpie. Or I know they're coming out with songbirds soon. and mostly raptors like hawks and eagles and falcons and ospreys can be those. There's also the moths. I think they're coming out with more insects too. Deer and just, all kinds of different animals. Cats, mustelids, which are like ferrets and weasels and ermines and stuff. Just, basically any animal that you can think of, more or less. And they each, there's like, I think there's like 2 different artists for this website. And one of them makes all they call them bases. Because it's basically a template for like each species, more or less. And they just change the colors for different variations. Like there's, besides magpie, there's also like just regular crow, and then raven, and then hooded crow for the corvid species. And like for the wolves and stuff, they have like regular colored wolves, and then, or regular gray wolf with different colors, and then coyotes, jackals, that kind of thing. And they look more or less the same, only they have the different color and some anatomical variations. And there's this option, which is like a really big thing on this website besides the animal husbandry thing. In my opinion, one of the main draws to the website is the fact that you can change the base of, or you can change the way that your villager looks. You could basically like take this image and then add like a hat or something, or add clothes, modify the base, and then you can also like draw it all yourself, like simply like trace over it and make your own modifications, just anything really. And since it's, the artwork technically belongs to the site and the creators and artists, you can submit stuff that uses the site's artwork. People even make like the mobs and the mini pets into painties, so yeah. Although I prefer not to do that. But yeah, that's what they do. What else? So it does cost the premium currency. It's $1 per upload. So unfortunately, like in the beginning I thought, oh, that's pretty cool, because then I can just spend $1 and then change the picture, and then I thought that stood for basically any sort of upload for that character. Like, once you spend the $1 to change the painting, then you can keep on changing it for free, but apparently that's not the case, which is really unfortunate. And, there's all kinds of rules. It gets pretty hectic and just really, like, debatable between the mods, like the reviewers who review the painties and approve them. I've heard that it gets really inconsistent between them, which, kind of sucks, because other people can get away with certain things and other people don't. So, yeah, needless to say, FurVilla's painting mods and also forum mods are kind of, they need a lot of work. We can just say that, so. Yeah, I'm not really going into much regarding that, or regarding the painties, but the next thing I have to get into is the costumes, which does kind of go with painties. Like with the costumes, I don't have any examples right now. I might go through the forums and look for people who have ones with costumes, so there has to be one. Well, here's one. And I also have to get into the special species too. I'll do that after. So this is a steampunk costume. And it's made by the same artist who makes the regular light bases for the villagers. And these are, obviously they add more to the bases, and they're actually in different poses too, and they're just, you know, templates. But these are made through the tailoring profession, and they usually require a bunch of high-end sort of materials, and it's mostly just a cosmetic thing, but there's also these stats that you get from it. So it's pretty handy. Like, for example, you know, this villager is in construction, so it gets an extra 5% crafting speed. Actually, maybe not for that one, now that I'm thinking about it. Hell, I don't have a costume of any sort, so yeah. Because when I saw that, I was like, oh, does it just apply to any crafting profession? But actually, I think it does only apply to the crafter, so whatever. So they don't get the bonus. But, I mean, it's not like you need to use the bonuses anyway, because it's just a cosmetic thing for some people. Like, for me, just in general, I mean, a lot of the costumes are nice, but I think it's just, I mean, even with the regular the regular templates, like, just with the mere option of being able to upload, like, my own artwork, which is what I've used for a bunch of my villagers, that has made me kind of opt not to use, you know, leave them without a painty, because, you know, you just get kind of hooked on the customization thing, because I'm an artist and I really enjoy, like, being creative and customizing stuff and making my own characters and all that, so it's really hard for me to leave my villagers without painties, and that sounds really weird. But, I mean, as of late, I haven't had time to make, like, more, so that's why. And, I mean, like I was saying, the costumes are nice, but I kind of feel like the same way about them as I do the regular artwork. Even the regular artwork is really nice. So these are the paintings I made. This is the first one I made. And yeah. So I really like birds. I like chickadees. I think they're, like, literally one of the most cutest birds ever. So I made one of her. And the way painties work, it's kind of like a social media sort of thing, which can be a blessing or a curse, because for a lot of people it becomes like a competition, and they go and bitch about it on the forums. Like, there's been, like, a lot of threads where it's like, oh, like, post your unappreciated painties, and then they're basically trying to get likes and stuff and comments. And I mean, I know I shouldn't be complaining about myself, but I mean, seriously, you're supposed to, at least in my point of view, you're supposed to upload stuff that you like. You're not trying to appease everyone else. It's not like a competition. There is a competition on the website called FurIdol, where I think you just like upload artwork or whatever of your villager or villagers, and then you get some prizes for winning from, like, votes and stuff. So, which kind of sucks, because it's like the beauty contest on Neopets, which sucked. But we're not gonna get into that. But anyway, I mean, I know there's that, but I mean, when it all comes down to it, submit or change your villager to be like how you want it to be. I mean, whatever you like. It doesn't matter whether other people like it or not, because people are always going to just gravitate to what they like. So don't be sad when, you don't get a whole lot of likes on your painting. And when you just complain about it a lot, then you just seem kind of desperate and like craving attention and like validation or something. So just, let it go. I mean, a lot of my paintings over time, they've just gotten less and less likes. I know this one is a really blander one, but I mean, this is actually one of them that, or one of the characters that is actually a character that I have, like basically one of my personas. And she's just a leucistic red-tailed hawk. So, and leucistic animals, they're kind of like, albino animals, but they haven't lost like all the pigmentation. I mean, I know that's a horrible way to describe it. It's probably like totally inaccurate, but that's just a very general explanation. They don't have red eyes. And this character, that's how I believe she looks, and it's not really impressive, and maybe she would need like rainbows everywhere and like edgy colors in order for people to appreciate her more, but that's who she is, and I like her that way, so I'm not gonna change my characters or just style them so that they get more likes or whatever. I mean, I know people usually design them how they want to, but the way that they're complaining after they post it and they don't really get any likes, I mean, it's like they want to please everyone, but you really can't. This is another of my personas. Again, I just design them however I feel that they are. I mean, I'm really big on, like, I like aesthetics and stuff, of course, but a lot of it is just how I feel the character looks. Of course, I have some pretty deep connections with my personas, so that plays a part in it, but I still go for aesthetics. This is a Dutch angel dragon, which I forgot to talk about, because it's one of the special village exclusive species, because each village has an exclusive species that you make through the alchemy profession. That's another thing I forgot to mention. Like you get the schematic or the recipe for the potion in one of the town stores. I mean, it's easy. It's not like other games where you have to work really hard to find the recipe, but yeah, you just buy it somewhere in the town, and then your alchemist can make the potion, and then you can use it on one of your villagers. It doesn't matter what species they are. And the one for Quetzal Palace is the Dutch angel dragon. I'm not going to go through explaining the other ones. This is another one that I made. Relatively simple, but I think it's really pretty. I like changing the CSS too. I forgot to mention that. The CSS on the villager pages and also the user pages is editable, which is awesome because, as I said before, I'm an artist and I like designing stuff, so it's fun to do that. But the thing is that I suck at CSS, I suck at HTML, I suck at every sort of possible remotely programmy thing. So thankfully there are people out there who do know how to code stuff, so I can just steal their codes and yeah, just have fun with it. But it's still a pain in the ass to do. And there goes my screen again. It's amazing. Yeah, these guys don't have painties. Yes, painties. he's my construction worker, so he has his construction hat and his tools and stuff, handkerchief, and yeah, that was pretty fun to do. Um, yeah, I like birds. I'm gonna make more bird villagers when I can. It's another villager. He's the blacksmith, and yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, I don't really have that many painties that I made. I just been super busy. I just managed to crank those out before I started school again. So yeah. What else do I explain? Um, I don't know. Well, they added a whole bunch of other new things, so it's pretty cool. I don't know why that's pink. Is that because I changed the color of that? Yeah, it's because I changed the CSS page. Here's the $4 Emporium. Like, you know, there's other stuff to spend besides buying painties. This is a gem bound? Gem bond. I'm getting mixed up with Flight Rising colors. Or not colors, but, jeans. So the gem it is gem bound. Okay, never mind. The gem bound is this pretty little cat thing with gems on it, and it's a species. I think it's an original FurVilla species, so that's pretty interesting. And it costs like $20, essentially. So, yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't spend $20 on it. Plus, you know, I would want to change the painty anyway, but well, not change the painty, change it into a painty anyway. But that's just my opinion. And then you got a bunch of pets that you can buy with the $4, and then you can buy the vistas. The vistas are basically like the ones on Flight Rising, no surprise, where it's just like a little extra flair to your posts and stuff. I don't have one yet because I'm cheap. I'm like hoarding all my money. I have the bank somewhere. I'm not gonna show it because I don't know, like, flaunt my money or anything. There's a good quick stock option, so you can put stuff in your stall or put it in storage or put in your menagerie or sell or discard. They should get rid of discard because you may as well just sell it. Sell it is basically like sell it to the vendor. So it's just a little bit of cash, but it's better than simply discarding it. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the menagerie is a part of animal husbandry. Well, not necessarily. Because I think you can, say you don't have an animal caretaker, and you just buy pets off the auction house, you can still put them in a menagerie, I believe. So, it's just like a little collection, place thing, where you can show them off. I used to use it, but then I figured, hell, I'm taking and moving around all my animals anyway, so I'm not gonna put any in there, at least not the females. Or the males that I use for breeding, but yeah. Apparently you can trade now. I haven't used that option. I don't know about the code thing. Maintenance market is where you can get your stuff, your various goods, like, repaired by peoples. And of course, it has the sad face because they have illnesses, which is hilarious because there's so many of them that have illnesses. But, you know, I think they can get illnesses when you're not playing. I could have sworn that happened to me before. Or maybe actually they get illnesses when they're doing like a particular job. Like, say you're sending out one of your villagers to collect pets, or maybe they're harvesting, or they're waiting for the plants to grow. They can get an illness during that period, even if you're not on or whatever. They can still get ill. So yeah. What else? But yeah, you have your install, of course, in the auction house. Well, it's not an auction house actually, because people don't actually bid on stuff. So I forget I ever called it an auction house, but fuck it. It's called an auction house in other games, so I don't care. It's gonna be called an auction house anyway. Transfer currency, yeah, you can transfer to other people, obviously, and items, and villagers even. It's funny because I'm playing on it. Forums, I'm not even gonna go into the forums. It's basically a Tumblr fest of sarcasm and cynicism, so yeah, that's all you need to know. It does get really annoying, but yeah, that's basically it. And on the main town page, you have your map of all the stores and stuff, and then the other places. And it also shows how many villagers are in each career, which of course isn't a good way to gauge the population of that particular town, because many people think, oh, you can just add up all of them and then you can see how many villagers you have total, but technically that's not accurate, because there's still going to be a bunch of villagers that don't have careers, so it's not a completely accurate depiction of how many villagers there are in that village. And these are the recent paintings that people have uploaded and gotten approved, and that's a pretty cool looking one too, with the colors. Yeah, that's actually a really nice one. It looks like they edited the red panda base, but it just looks, I don't know. They must have redrawn it, but yeah, that one is nice. I really like the colors, and just everything looks nice. But yeah. That one looks nice too. It's like starry and stuff. Really nice contrast of colors with the lights and darks and stuff. And that's another glitch one that people make, because people just totally get off on glitchy designed things. But whatever they like. People like weird stuff like that too. Kind of reminds me of like the candy gore thing. I don't know, that's like it's sort of new, I think, interest, at least in the furry community. I'm sure it's in other communities too, but yeah, it's really weird. But yeah, people have weird interests in art or designs. So yeah, it shows the latest paintings, and then it has the passing wanderers, which are villagers that were abandoned. Normally when people don't have space, or they want to get a new villager, or they're just sick of one, then they get rid of it, and then you can adopt one if you have a free space. I don't know what this is. Oh, I think they actually added that, like how people were asking for a wardrobe to have like different paintings that they can switch. Yeah, I didn't even notice that earlier. So, I think that really explains it. Yeah, there's a chat too. I haven't gotten in a chat before though. It's just a chat room for people. It's probably Tumblr-y anyway, like the forums and recent activities and threads. But yeah, you can do all this kind of stuff, like just chat about the game, chat about just general stuff or off-topic stuff. I mean, and role play, and then just like all this fur-related stuff, and oh yeah, of course, the commerce section where you can buy villagers or buy painties, and there are still a lot of people who are looking to buy low-digit villagers, because you know how like on Flight Rising or other sites, there's like an ID number for the villager that you create, and then the lower they are, the more valuable they are. Yeah, people are so into that. They actually pay, like, legitimately. I think I've seen people like bidding $50 or $60 on like 5-digit villagers. pretty crazy. And I would never spend that kind of money on just a number, but you know, that's the thing people like. So, yeah. But I do like looking at the art sales and that kind of thing. Even some of the adoptables, I like that stuff. Not everything is totally original, as people know, but some of them are still pretty cute and creative. So that's fun. So yeah, I think that concludes this long ass review. So if you actually listen to me ramble on and on for like 5 hours, I applaud you and I thank you for listening and watching. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I don't know if I'm gonna upload this to YouTube, but I might hesitantly do so. But yeah, I hope to upload more stuff in the future. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on FurVilla in December. And you know, if you have the option to refer me, I would appreciate that as well. But just, you know, if you see me on there, like if you play at that time, then please say hi. And we can chat and just do stuff on this game together. Whatever. So yeah. Thank you for watching.